Hello everyone, welcome to Zite Studios. Today we will cover everything about snapping in Blender 3.0. So first of all, I will remove unwanted objects from the scene. Let me turn on the screencast keys. Now click on the cube and press period key on the numpad, which will zoom your interface into the selected object. On the top you can see the snapping switch. When you click on that, you see a lot of options like vertex, edge, face, etc. Now even when you select any of those, you would still not be able to snap anything. I try snapping cursor to this vertex. By the way, you can bring cursor to any point on your screen by doing Shift plus right click. It's a very useful shortcut, do memorize that. So how do we sort this? Click on this small magnet and now you see, voila! The cursor is getting snapped to any vertex you want. Let's copy this object so that I can show you better how this works. I want to snap this object to where the cursor is. What do you do is press Shift S and click on selection to cursor. You can see the object has been snapped to the cursor at its origin. Okay, now let's undo that. What if I want to snap this corner to that corner? I will show you. Bring the cursor to that vertex. Shift press right click. Now right click and set origin to 3D cursor. You have got your origin where you want. Place the cursor back where it was. Shift S and selection to cursor. Woohoo! You already are a snapping pro. So let's then move on to level 2. First let's copy this once more. Scale it down. Rotate it along y-axis. Press R and then Y at 45 degree. Now along Z-axis, again 45 degree. Now let's snap this to the other, but not at the vertex. What if I want to snap it to the face or the edge? How do we do that? Remember the options you saw under the snap menu? Let's snap to the edge. Click on Edge Center. Now when you do Shift S, boom. See, you have snapped your cursor to the center of that edge. If you now do selection to cursor, this is what happens. It snapped to the origin. But now I don't want these edges to align. What do I do? Let's Ctrl Z. Now when you right click, you see the option in Set Origins menu, Set Origin to Geometry. Bang! You just have reset the origin to its initial place. Now when you snap, look at that. That feels so good to stick it into that edge. Do try out all these options in level 2. Face snap and all comes very handy at times. Let's move on to level 3, which is down here. Now you see selected option, it says closest, which means under edge center snap, it will snap to the closest edge center. Closest to what? Closest to the object, keep that in mind. I can show it better in vertex snap mode. You see, where I move this, it snaps to the closest vertex to the object that we have selected, the one we are moving right now. Now if I change it from closest to active, you can see it only snaps to the origin. All snaps are aligned to the origin. Let me show you in a better way. Let's copy this. Copy one more. Now you notice where the origin is, at one of the corners. I am going to snap the object to this one. See what happens. Boom. It snaps to the bottom vertex, but at the origin. No other edge gets snapped. Now when you do closest, tada! It snaps to the top edge. The origin of the object is here, but it snaps here. because it snapped to the closest vertex to the object, not to the origin, but to the object. Now if I change the origin of the top cube, now change this to active. Now if I move, it snaps as before. That means it doesn't matter where the origin of the target object is. Only be aware of the origin of the object we are transforming. Closest also works the same. Okay, so that was level 3. Now let's move on to level 4. Right now, the snap works only when we move object. Let's see what happens when we snap while rotating. Go to top view, press Shift C, which brings the cursor to the world origin. Rotate one of the cubes. Bring that to the origin. Shift D to create a copy. Now when I rotate, no snapping is happening. Let's turn on the rotate snapping. You can see now that it's snapping to the corner vertices. Shift R will repeat the action until I get it where I want it. Let's do it once more. Shift D creates a copy, and you can see it's snapping to all points while moving. Now when I rotate, it's snapping. And Shift R, do it once more. You can see you get them aligned perfectly on top of the other cube at the bottom. Scale it down. Now let's add an extra level to this. This is not one of those snapping options, as I would say, but use it with snaps to get some out of the world results. Go to the transform pivot point switch. Change it to individual origins. Now if you rotate, nothing changes because they all have the origin at the same place. So what you do is right click and set origin to geometry. Now when you rotate them, yes, that can give you so much flexibility while transforming objects. So that's it guys for today's lesson. Try out all these options. All the levels are very unique and makes your modeling so much easier. See you again with another tutorial. Till then, bye bye and have a nice day.